Welcome to another episode of Cwt TV. Get to know your hosts, Peter and Helen Yapel, as they are the New York State chapter coordinators of the Human Solution International, where we believe no one should go to jail for a plan. Peter and Helen are ministers, living the changes they wish to see in the world. Peter is a patient that learned the science behind the cannabis plant as he healed. Helen supported and cared for him by learning the medicinal values of foods, and now their allegiance is to the plant. Currently, they teach. They spread the knowledge that they've acquired through all social media, radio, and now through TV. So sit back and learn how to simplify and live a canna lifestyle.
Welcome to another episode of Cwt Talk, where we live the changes we wish to see in the world.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here each week,
What do you
guys.
got there on your lap there, babe?
Oh, I got my puppy. Well, thanks for joining us here each week, guys, where we try to educate you and entertain you as well, and teach you how to live a canna lifestyle. Got a pretty good show tonight.
She was just on the floor, whining her face off, whining her face off. She gets up here and look at her.
Well,
she's literally ready to go to sleep.
She's going into heat, so she needs a little bit more attention now than she normally does, which is normally more than 50 dogs need to begin with. So tonight she just needs to sit and, she needs to be part of the show.
She needs daddy.
She's always been part of the show anyway.
Daddy
Since day
for a
one
girl.
for a radio show, she's been right
Yes,
there,
she
always by her
has.
head, sitting there.
Yeah, even from the beginning. You remember that she used to come right behind us and sit
Sit
like
between
right
us.
in the middle of us.
As we talk.
As we talked, like, as if she knew the camera's pointing. So yeah, I have to be seen.
Speaking of radio shows, there won't be one this week because on Tuesday, Helen and I are
Coming
going
back here to Fort Jervis.
to meet at their town board meeting, and
Yes.
we're Solidarity Over Separation, as you guys know. The New York chapter of the Human Solution is me and Helen are both the chapter coordinators of it. We're a human and civil rights organization where we believe nobody should be in jail for a plant. But more importantly, we fight for human rights no matter what your issue is, whether you're, and we consider, when we fight for the disabled, we consider those that are over-medicated and being
Disabled.
right, and having doctors force them into a state of abuse. We consider them, having their rights violated.
That's right.
Because they don't have freedom to use the plant, as we
Well,
know.
I think once you're on that pharmaceutical hamster wheel, something kind of happens. It does. It becomes a dependency, and it's proof is in the pudding. I mean, look at any person that's got chronic pain that's on pain medication, and look at their monthly attendance to their doctors.
Right.
Look at their monthly attendance to their pain management doctor versus their general practitioner.
But Solidarity Over Separation, Human Solution International, as I said, is a 501c3 international 501c3 human and civil rights organization.
Yes.
We are proposing to the city of Port Jervis a hand-up outreach program. Okay,
Yes.
and we call it hand up because there aren't going to be handouts. This
There are
is
no
about
handouts.
this is about taking a community that right now is in the paper every third week with hundreds and hundreds of bags of heroin being pulled from the streets from dealers, and not just from people standing on street corners, folks. We're talking from the
right.
municipality's fire department and such. This has really gotten in deep, and it's a beautiful community here. It's the most photographed area during fall foliage. But if you dip off that exit and you come down into here, you see the struggles and the suffering that the people do. And I know they don't want to live that way. I know this community doesn't want to be.
No one does. No one does.
So what Helen and I are suggesting, and as this progresses, stop us on the street. You will see us on the street. We're coming starting tomorrow. We'll be walking the streets, getting people's ideas, understanding what they think how the community can be helped.
Right.
Now, this is going to be an all-volunteer mission. Do we want all of the businesses and corporate businesses involved? Do we want doctors involved? Yes. Do we want, health services
We want to be able to bring
Yes.
people in that are in need and teach them how to make the changes that they wish to see in their world. Because every one of us, come on, we all know that there's certain things about our lives that we want to change, we bitch about on a daily basis. But no one knows how to make those changes.
Well,
they
we
don't seem
do.
to be able to make those steps. We want to teach those how to do that. And those that we succeed and they reach the level that they're looking for, then they come and they mentor.
Right.
And that's
Right.
how it works.
It's about
and we get the
making
community
something
involved.
community strong.
Yeah,
Right.
it's so important. We've lost it.
Helen and I are blessed in community.
That's right.
And when I talk about blessed in community, I'm talking about we've met people in our activist movement, and a lot of good people and a lot of bad people and a lot of mediocre people. Don't get me wrong, but the people that we've met through this movement, whether it's whether they're involved in this movement or not, but just met them through the movement because farmers. I mean, they might not be having anything to do with pot, but they're still involved in the movement as far as I'm concerned, because our movement involves keeping the earth clean and cleaning the earth and and environmental issues as well. So, but those people will offer up. Why? Because they have the
they want to see
same
the
structure
changes
and heart that we have. That's right.
Because they want to
They
see the
understand
changes.
the values.
Yeah. And of course they're going to, once they, look, everybody is pretty much given up. We can all see that. People are just doing their thing because no one else is doing anything.
Right.
That's what we all think.
Right.
But somebody has to start and it's to show everybody else. So it's going to be us.
Listen, I get asked all the time. I do get asked all the time, and I will make. This will be part of what I say tomorrow, because it happens all the time when we talk about things like this. Because Helen and I have talked about models like this for
a long time.
For towns for a long time, guys. And it's finally time we do something, I guess is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But what I get asked all the time, do you really think this is going to work? This could really work. We could all come together we could live in a great community.
It could.
And I go, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then they go, well, how the heck do you think we're going to do it? I go, we do it. It just takes doing it. That's all it really just takes is to do it. Is to find the right people, to explain to them that this isn't about, if you can explain, the higher-ups is what I'm talking about that are going to be involved. If the people could understand that they're not there for a special interest this time. People say all the time, you're doing this to run for office. Heck no, man, are you kidding me?
Oh my God, no.
Kelly Decker is doing a fantastic job.
And we're doing
Let him
enough.
keep doing it.
Not for nothing.
We're
doing enough.
And let Kelly do it. I don't want to be in politics.
Yeah, no,
I just want to help
not at all.
the community.
Because I am the most politically incorrect person.
Right.
I am Archie Bunker female.
Right.
I cannot do politics. I just can't.
Right. Well, that's what's going on. We'll talk more in depth about it as it goes on, but I really wanted to let everybody know. And if you're watching the show, tell your neighbors. Show up at the meetings, because we'll be at all the meetings now. We have to be. I mean, this is something now we're going to commit to 100%. If you see us on the street, stop us.
we
look
have
at the
people-
screen. As you look at the screen right now, you'll see our web address going across the bottom. Elise will be a guest on the show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
She's our editor, but she'll graciously put it at the bottom of the screen for you guys.
Because she's brilliant.
And please, if you want to be involved, we're talking about investors and people. When I talk about investing, this is not. This is going straight to our 501c3. Our 501c3 is non-profit and all volunteer. So even all we're doing is volunteer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You get how committed we are to doing something, and why. All right. Well, that's it for that little piece. But while we were out this weekend, we went to two different lectures for better.
Well, do you want to talk about that now, or do you want to bring Elise on and then come back and talk after Elise?
Yeah, why don't we do
You
that?
wanna
We'll
do
just
that?
we'll just take a quick
break, let Elise
bring
come on.
Elise, and then that sounds good. All right. When you return, we'll be talking to our editor, Elise Rose, guys, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, Pete Yapel, Cwt Talk CBDs, representing the best product in the world, Willow Creek Springs. Listen guys, there's times where we don't know what to do for our women. Well, I've got a perfect solution for you. Purchase Willow Creek Springs Health and Beauty Products. This is an eye serum. It's a nano product, which just means the particles are broken down so they'll penetrate actually the cell walls. Let's take down inflammation, help with wrinkles, darkness under the eyes. My wife uses this every day, and along with a plentiful water supply that she drinks on a daily basis, her skin is as beautiful as it could possibly be. So reach out to us at Cwt Talk CBDs at 845-522-3162 and purchase this for your wife. The next time she needs a present, you don't know what to buy. Welcome back, everybody. I got tonight on our show, we've got our editor of our show, Elise Rose. Elise is incredible. She wears many, many hats. And,
Oh my God.
we're glad to know her, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Glad part of our family. And Elise, why don't you let everybody know just a little bit about yourself?
How are you tonight, guys? I'm so not used to being on this end of the camera
It's okay.
at
Hey,
all,
listen.
and it's going to be real freaky, like editing it. But I am a, mid-40s single mom, and I just kind of met you guys and fell into this. This is like an incredible thing that you guys have led me to, the whole CBD world. And
Right.
certainly appreciate it. But I am at this point, I'm a bookkeeper and for an electrician, and I work for a body shop, and I do a bunch of different things. I run a trivia night, a monthly trivia night.
She does
Which I think
that.
is so cool.
Yeah. She
Making
does
up
all
all
the
her own
questions
stuff.
herself. She does it all. She sets it all up. It's great.
Yeah, that was something that I just kind of fell into because
Yeah, who thinks of that though?
Nobody
ever thinks of that.
I do it at a restaurant in Stony Point called Lynch's, and it's right on 9W, and it's good food and whatnot, and I love Lynch's, and he's very community-minded. The owner
That's awesome.
he is great. He's a really great guy, and really great for our community. But I just kind of brought the idea to him because there was no trivia nights when I was available to play trivia.
Right.
So, and the closest ones that I had were like, I don't know, 30 miles away on nights that I could play. So I took it to him, and I was like, I got an idea, let's do trivia. He was like, yeah, bring me something, kind of blowing me off. I was like, okay. So I did, and I brought him something. He was like, all right, let's see what we do. And I did my first one for free, and all he did was like
Very cool.
feed me, yeah. And
Right.
then it's 2 years now.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
See, with stuff like that, there's never a reason to just sit home. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know. I don't know anybody else other than you that would have thought of that.
Well,
that would have been
right.
like, okay.
And then
You
take
know
it
what
on.
can I do
and then
tonight?
Do
You
it,
know, and do
commit
it.
to
Exactly.
every month, you know?
It's
Exactly.
definitely a commitment. It's certainly something I've put on myself as far as
Coming up with all the questions and
by a deadline.
That's
because
a lot.
I do it the first Thursday of every month,
Right.
and
That's
it's
a
been a fun gig. And there was my biggest one was last month. There was like 50 people there.
Right.
See, that's awesome.
So they make
which means
restaurant
it's
makes money.
catching on. I mean, that's the cool part about it. That people are word of mouth, and that's all. Listen, what better thing? How long is the?
It's like
event?
2 hours.
Oh,
It's,
2
yeah,
hours.
it's like 7 o'clock it starts, and I start pretty much on time, and it ends around 9:30, depending on
Nice evening.
how crazy people get, because people get crazy and they get defensive, and
People are crazy.
there can be
People
trauma.
are crazy.
Competitive is the word. It's
Yes,
competitive.
there's competitiveness. There's lots of things that go on. But it's fun. It's fun. So I guess in a way I do get up in front of, an audience, but certainly not on camera. I don't even have any footage of any of my trivia nights. It's 2 years. I have
Really?
I have
Wow,
no
we'll come and
pictures
shoot
of
it
me
for
up
you.
there.
Why?
Nobody has
'Cause
taken any
nobody's
video because
done
I'm the one who
that
always
for
shoots.
you.
Right.
And I think about it like almost every month. Let me grab my video camera, whatever. And,
just set it
and I
up or
forget it.
something, right?
And I
That
forget
sucks.
because I'm setting up everything else.
We got to figure that out.
That's cool.
Fix that.
At least also then, and it's weird because we're talking about trivia nights and this thing, but
Yeah.
then we'll go, as we say, she's the editor of our show, and
Yeah.
she has a love for photography and media and things like that.
Good.
Yeah, guys, Helen's back and joined us. She's
Yes, I
feeling
am.
better.
I'm good.
We're glad she's feeling better and glad she rejoined
Just
us.
needed a minute.
Kind of throws off the feng shui a little bit for me when she's not on stage, you know. Unless I'm doing one of
Oh,
those
we're in
ranting
opposite
things
seats
where I'm
now.
kind of yeah, I know,
We're-
yeah.
We've messed it all up.
We got it all screwed up, but that's okay.
That's all right.
That's okay. Well, as we were going back, we were just saying Elise took her first ride
Yeah.
on her bike, this for the season.
Very cool.
Yeah, yep. I'm excited for this riding season. It's such a great place
I think
to
it's
ride.
going to be a beautiful spring
I
and summer.
can
I
only
really do.
hope. Let's hope. So far, we're off to a good start. We
yeah,
never
I'm
push
not-
it.
But you don't think so?
I'm not counting on nothing in this state.
Why?
Because when I want it to be nice, it's not. When I want it to be
Oh, no
not
one seems
nice,
to know what the weather is anywhere anymore. Everybody seems
Neither
to have it
are the weather
wrong.
people.
Stick me somewhere where I have 0 chance of snow, and I'm going to be happy.
Oh, I know that. I know.
That's kind of what I'm talking about. But it is a beautiful area to ride. I mean, the valleys
Certainly.
and the mountains, and I mean, it rolls through, and there's winding
This
turns.
is biker heaven.
Yeah,
This area is definitely biker heaven.
It
And
is,
I've been enjoying it. I'm a rider for 20 years. This is my 21st season on a motorcycle, riding my own bike.
Bravo
Yeah.
for keeping us safe.
I don't even want to say it, but I'm still here to ride on the same motorcycle I bought in
Awesome.
2002. So,
awesome.
yes.
Cool, cool.
Well, you're
Yes.
stellar in
So-
every area, so you are. I
My
say it
kid
all
told
the
me this
time.
morning, today, on the way here, or when I was leaving to come here, that I am a badass. And-
You are badass.
That's
but she
good.
said
But she
because
knows.
because I gave birth to a badass.
Okay.
She said,
Hey.
and you ride a motorcycle.
For whatever the reason is, it all works out. I mean, we adore her. We've hit it off since the first day we met. We've done a ton of stuff already together. We just
Yeah.
enjoy hanging out
Lots
with her.
of
A lot of
great
times we just call and say, hey,
projects.
listen,
Lots of
let's do
great
lunch
projects.
even. We don't,
And now she's putting together the documentary for the Human Solution International. I cannot wait for that. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, Joe enlisted her, and we saw Joe when we were in Philly on that trip, and he's talking about the film, and he says, wait a second, let me see your show. So he looked at our show and said, okay, who does your show? And I was kind of like, well, Elise does. And I said, I know she won't mind if I give you her number. And it
We
was right
talked
there. I
about
called
it
her right
actually
then.
over dinner, and then the next morning we had breakfast.
Oh.
And the conversation continued there, and I was like, oh, you know what? Let me call her.
Well, thank you, and I'm so glad you did,
Yes, me
and
too.
I so appreciate this opportunity.
Well,
It's
listen,
incredible for
we
me.
want a good piece
I
put
can't wait
together
to
too.
see
You
it
know what I
when
mean?
it's
We
done.
we want a
It's-
good piece put together.
Of
you
course.
Know? I mean, and Joe's a hero. He's Joe's really a hero. He's
He
an
truly
incredible
is,
man.
I have yet to
I mean,
meet
you've
a
now
more
had the
selfless
pleasure of
human
meeting
being.
him now, like and
Right,
spoken to
I've
him.
started,
Right.
and I've started to watch his footage now.
Yes.
So now I'm looking
You're
at
getting
him
to
and
know
I'm-
him.
Really
right.
getting an
and,
idea.
and I'm getting a sense of the company and how
Right.
he runs it and
Yes.
everything like that. And he's really like
He's an awesome guy, right?
He is the guy I spoke to on the phone.
Yes.
There you go.
See,
You
isn't
see
that
that?
awesome when that happens? When somebody
Wow.
truly
Now
are
that
who they
is
say they
very
are.
well put. That-
Holy crap.
That is truly very well put
Yeah,
because Joe
truly
Grumbine is Joe Grumbine. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
guessing.
That's so well said.
From the
Elise.
conversation that I had from him, and then I started watching his videos. I didn't really watch his videos beforehand. Maybe I saw a couple, but now then I was like, wow, like I already had a sense of him just from our short conversation, and then I started watching him, and I was like, that is him.
Yeah.
You know, he's
Yeah.
Now
That's
you know
how
the
he
company
is.
in
Yeah,
itself, too,
exactly,
so
yeah.
you know the passion that all goes along
Yeah,
with
yeah,
all
and
of
everybody is passionate about it
Yeah.
because there's so much to be said for, the prohibition that's out there, and I'm learning now
Yes.
because I've never been, in,
That side of it.
right, exactly,
that. People,
exactly.
A lot of people have it.
yeah.
They don't know, right? But isn't
Right.
it cool when you delve into it a bit and see,
So,
since
since you've done that, what would you say to somebody in that situation?
Yeah, like if
Just-
they want to get
or that
involved
is-
but don't know how,
or just even hears all the hype of CBD but has really no interest. Maybe they don't have anybody sick or they don't have anything wrong with them,
Right.
or themselves. But everybody has to know.
Everybody has to.
You get that now. So what would you say to that person? Now that you know.
Now that I know, and I actually have some people who don't have anything wrong with them, and they are taking it because they want to, they want to see if there's a difference. And I say, you may not even know there's a difference unless you stop taking it.
Right.
And
That's right.
and because a healthy person who's who already is a clean eater and
Right, has a
exercises
strong-
Who has
and
a
whatnot.
strong endocannabinoid system.
Right, but they are lacking it. They're just lacking the CBDs in them, the
Right.
cannabinoids, like
Right.
an actual intake, and
It's
so
like a
far,
daily supplement. It's like people take a multivitamin. You
Yeah.
don't need to take a CBD.
Yeah.
Take a few drops. And then always
I'm-
always use the premise low until
I
you know. Start
myself-
out low and work your way up.
don't really have anything wrong. I mean, I started taking it. Yeah, there's some female reasons I started taking it for, and I have tremendous results with that. But otherwise, I'm like fairly healthy. But I know when I don't take it, I feel like just like there's something,
wait,
little
wait till this-
something.
For me, it was just as soon as I understood the aging process and what a big toll oxidative stress takes on us. When I got that, and I understood that it's cannabinoids that engulf those proteins, that was it for
Right.
me. That was it. All like made sense. Everything came together. So what was it for you? Using it? Or?
Yeah, using it because I didn't delve further into it until I was using it probably for about 6 weeks, and then I was like, "There's something here."
Yeah.
And people should know about it.
Yeah.
And there are people that I have that are like they're still calling me.
Yeah.
Still, and they are having incredible results.
Yeah.
And I'm happy, so happy to hear when somebody says something like, I'm almost off my Xanax.
Right.
We went to
know?
my son's last night, and my son's best friend that he grew up with has a little boy that has been diagnosed with ADD and
All the
Crohn's.
shit.
Even they're
Crohn's
looking at
disease,
now.
and he's a child.
He's a,
I mean,
he's
child.
a little boy,
5, 6.
So we went and saw my son, and the little boy that his best friend's kid. So many different problems, but he saw my son since we started treating him just the other day, and he just could not believe how well. He said it's a different kid.
Right.
And they didn't tell the school that they started implementing CBDs, and the school went out of their way to contact them to tell them the difference they're seeing in school.
It happens every time, though. We know that.
And now they're going to the doctor for blood work, and they want to see the difference there.
Right.
And then they'll
Right.
open up their mouths and let everybody know,
Right.
like, hey, this is what he's doing. But they are so pleased. He still has some stomach issues, but we're going to try and fix that with some oregano oil
that's, yeah.
and
That's
see
diet
what
stuff,
that happens.
yeah.
Exactly,
Right.
that's diet.
Right.
That's
But
diet.
so cool. It's so awesome
Yeah,
when
it's
you
cool.
see things like that happen.
When people text me something that is like,
it's great.
like just so positive when they're having
You're seeing
such
the
great results
changes.
and they're reaching out to me,
Yep.
and
Saying thank
and
you.
Thank you, exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
We had just another person we were having tremendous success with cancer that I spoke to her daughter yesterday, and she said, they're not even mentioning chemo to her now. Because, brain cancer is
How
gone.
cool
Lung
is
cancer
that?
is
I
like
mean, how
almost
cool is
gone.
that?
It's crazy, but the thing about it is that, and a lot of things I want to stress to people is that, that's great to hear, but why the woman changed her, doesn't eat anything but plant
Right.
food and
She-
healthy proteins, doesn't, is a Reiki master, so she understands energy and synergy.
She gets
and-
it already.
Right, and centerizing.
She had half the battle beat.
Right.
So
And then taking, like I always say to people, you have to be consistent. I have another person that's very ill, that's very personal to me, friend of mine, and the complaint is just that you have to be consistent. If
Absolutely. If
You're
you're not
it's
consistent,
going
you're
to
not gonna
work.
have the result.
Now, like
And that
if
is
a
the
doctor
truth.
gives you a pill, you're damn sure you're taking it every 8 hours
That's
when
right.
it's supposed to be taken. You're
Right.
gonna,
right.
And there's a reason why they
trip a
tell you
dog
to.
get to it.
that's right.
Right.
But it's all about consistency. It's about making the other positive changes we have to do. Again, we always say it's a canna lifestyle. It's not live by
Yes,
cannabis.
it's a lifestyle.
Right, there's
it's making the
everything about it
changes
involved.
to create a way of living that's completely holistic, that
We met a
It's-
doctor, and we're
it's
going to
just the
speak about
best
this
way. It
doctor in
truly
a
is.
segment,
Yeah,
in
it
a
was great.
segment also tonight, and very, very same thing. My card says mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit.
Yeah.
That's what we're about.
That's what
Right.
we're about.
His
Right.
first slide, mind, body, spirit.
Right,
and
'cause
then
you have to treat all
talked
three.
about herbology
Yes.
and talked about things, and it was
Well,
good. But we'll get into
it's
that. in a little bit.
homeostasis, and without
Without
homeostasis, there
we
is no
cannot
good
have
health.
That's right.
Well, Lisa, I want to thank you for everything you do for us.
Thank you.
Well, you're always welcome on the show. We're glad you could hear tonight. The good thing about tonight is Helen will not have to send you an outline. You will know
You
exactly.
Let's take a picture of the board here.
Let's take a picture of the whiteboard. Exactly. Well, all right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, and I hope you liked meeting Elise. I love her. She's an awesome lady. She's very important to us getting the shows out to you guys, because let me tell you, prior to her, just take a look for yourself.
And if you guys understood when Helen says "love that lady," that's really doesn't come out of her mouth very much.
No. Well, I'm a strong female. Strong
Yeah.
females normally don't get along with other females, and I usually don't.
But Lisa's just as strong, so it's.
Yeah, exactly, and there's a mutual respect. I see that's the relationships that I'm comfortable with
Well, has
other
been since the
females
day
that
you
I
guys
like.
met. You've had a mutual respect
Yeah,
for each
yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm glad we had her on. Well, this weekend we went and listened to a couple of lectures. One will be part of a segment that will be growing strong on this show each week called Pissed Off Pete. We aired it last week. And I'll be pissed off again this week. I'll be pissed off every week. Let's be realistic.
Because
there's enough out there.
the world will
there
make
is
sure
enough
of it
out
in
there
one way
to
or
make us
another.
mad, right? But I'm going to address an issue that we met at one of the lectures
yes,
at Goodwill Church.
so
in
that'll
Montgomery.
be a pissed off Pete segment. But the other one,
But the other one was what was Healing from Within. We
Yes.
saw at Transformation Church
Dr.
in Middletown,
Yeah.
New York. Dr. Eduardo Pinto.
yes, what an awesome guy,
When
right?
the guy's first slide says mind, body, spirit, and your show says mind, body, spirit, and
Well, let
there's
me
an
tell you
immediate
first, I
connection.
have to say this. When I first got there, looking at the gentleman, he looked maybe
25.
Yeah, maybe 30s. And then he said he's been a doctor practicing for 25 years.
Yeah,
so I was like, whoa.
He looks
okay.
fantastic. Taking care of himself.
Oh yeah, so he's a doctor of the right kind, because he understands that the way he lives is going to determine on how healthy he is.
He even said himself, I don't
Not
take
what he
aspirin. I don't take
ingests, as far
Motrin.
as-
I won't take Motrin. I won't take, I don't go to doctor. Doctors don't go to doctors. Well, what does that
Yeah,
tell you?
yeah.
And it's
Tell
not
me that
because they're
doesn't
so
speak
damn smart
volumes.
that they know and they can self-diagnose themselves. It's just that you don't go. You don't have to. You eat something better. You put something different in you. You change a little bit about something, and you correct what's wrong. I mean, any doctor will tell you that. Any good, real doctor will. Well, anyway, we met Eduardo. Fantastic speech.
Good man, yeah.
Talked about food. He talked about spirituality. Talked about mindfulness, talked about our bodies, talked about how we're in control,
Yeah.
talked about what we put in, talked about the importance of certain things put in, talked about herbs and how important herbs are, and cannabis being one. Talked about oxidative stress.
Yeah.
We interjected a few
Understood.
times
He
when he was like
understood,
looking
and-
for
Yeah.
participation. Of course, if I know the answer, or Helen does, we're going to interject. And he was explaining oxidative stress and oxygen-free radicals, and of course I said, well, you're talking about oxygen-free radicals and oxidative stress, and he says, yeah, why are you here? You know more than I do. And I don't know more than they do.
No,
I
would never
can
claim
talk
to.
with them, right? It's just the thing. And guys, don't be afraid to challenge your doctor. If you spend some time researching something and you find out valuable information that will help you or someone else, and you know it to be true, you found real periodicals, don't be afraid to talk to your doctor about it. A lot of what you think you're reading in medicine is convoluted with all these huge words and this and that. Some of it, yes, but Those words are just scientific terms for something else. Once you notice them enough times, you will have absolutely no trouble reading a medical periodical. Medical periodicals aren't really, some of them are in-depth and, textbook ones, but that's not the things I'm talking about. Look for specifics about the testing. They can all be broken apart and tore down into a few short paragraphs that really explain all the 65,000 words that they talked to before. Because whatever they did doesn't matter, is what the end result is and the effectiveness.
I was just having this conversation with Robin, our daughter, and she's 32, and she, just had some blood work done, and finds out her cholesterol is high, and that's it. They look at the cholesterol, and they say, yep, it's high. Okay, here you go, take this Lipitor. But it's more than that. When you do some research, you get that it's not just about the lipids, and there's 6 levels of cholesterol, and they're not. There's 2 that are bad. There's it's not just about cholesterol.
We get an abbreviated version of everything.
It could be about magnesium. It could be about the calcium coming out of your bones and going into the bloodstream, and the platelets sticking to the calcium that's causing the clots. So instead of introducing magnesium supplement like a topical, here's this 30-year-old kid. Let me give them this pill that is going to indefinitely cause Alzheimer's or dementia.
Right.
Okay, because it causes plaque on the brain.
Yeah, instead of just telling them to change what they eat.
Eduardo. Yeah, change your lifestyle. That's my point. Those should be the suggestions. They shouldn't be, here's the script for atorvastatin. It shouldn't be that is the only option that we have. All of our doctors should be able to either or, Western or Eastern.
Right.
All of them should be like that.
And it shouldn't even be considered Western. It should be just all
Whatever.
Considered medicine, period.
Yes.
It's just medicine in general. Well, anyway, Eduardo's a great doctor. He said he'd come on the show one night, so we'll look forward to having him on as a guest. Hopefully and we talked to him briefly about the Port Jervis project and said, hey, listen, there's something I'd really like to get you involved in. So you'll hear a little bit more about him in just a little bit. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about something that I'm angry about and almost did my pissed off Pete about. It's about a pediatrician in Pennsylvania that was a sexual predator for years. But we'll be right back, guys. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
So now I know you're going to get a little pissed off talking about this piece, but
This stuff makes me mad.
it's all right. But just don't get too pissed off. You got to save some pissed off for later.
It seems that and listen, this has become such the norm anymore. It's hard to even talk about.
It's horrible.
Yesterday, a 71-year-old pediatrician was sentenced to 79 to 158 years in prison for molesting children the
And
whole
his
time
life's already lived.
throughout his practice. Listen, this guy was first accused in 2000, right, in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And the community got behind him because, I mean, he's the,
He's their doctor.
community doctor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Gosh, this is,
Can't be him.
This is John Bartow. How
Right.
could you be talking about Dr. Jack Bartow, But sure enough, 18 years ago, this all started.
Wow.
As far as accusations and such coming at him. But he gets 79 to 128 years. And, at 71 means, he'll never see the light of day again. But he got 79 to 158 years. You know what Craig Cecil got for being a mechanic on a truck that transported
Life,
without?
the possibility of parole.
That's a hell of a lot longer than 158 years.
Sure is.
Because there's no possibility.
Sure is.
By some strange miracle, the guy gets some cannabis snuck into jail.
Now, let me
stops the
think of
oxygen-free
what the
radical.
justification could possibly be for that illogical move.
Well,
What do you think?
Well, I look at it this way. Doctors are failing us, like every day as it is. I mean, that's how not like it's a new thing to hear, that your doctor is doing something to harm you. But when it starts with kids, and I'm a product of molestation, so I understand it and what it does to you. Doctors, if it's a doctor, I mean, and especially from the time you're a child, I mean, you talk about screwing your life up. I mean, they don't know
I
it might help
know.
you. You may never want to go to the doctor, and it could be the best thing that ever happened to you. But this guy takes his profession.
Yeah.
He smiles about town, Mr. Charisma. Everybody loves him, and he's destroying their children.
Yep.
I don't care if they were male, female, both 6 ways of Sunday. That don't matter to me. The fact is, he was doing it.
Somebody, to me, that's somebody that needs to be thrown in the street, stripped naked, and stoned to
or
death.
something, right? Come on,
Just saying.
We always say, people always get mad
That's-
and
that's
oh,
what I
the
think
punishment
should
never
happen.
fits the crime. You're right, because we get it so ass backwards. You're going to hear about another sentence we talk about in a piece that we're going to do in a little bit. We talk about moonshining, and just sentencing is crazy. I mean,
There's no rhyme or reason
No.
behind half of
No.
what the choices that the decisions that they're making for
No.
these people.
No.
It doesn't make sense.
It
Some are
doesn't.
like you can clap your hands to, and the others you're just throwing your hands up in the air, going, "What are you thinking?" And I can't wrap my head around
Well,
how this happens.
I think about these kids, and some of this, like you're saying, some of these have happened 18 years ago, These people lived through this, from the time they were a kid. And
Yeah,
molested
and
all
look,
kinds
his
of-
life is lived. He's just ravaged through this community of children, lived his whole life, and what the hell does he care? He's 70-something years old, and now he's going to sit the rest of his life in prison. He don't give a crap. He's going to sit behind in that cement cell and just masturbate to whatever he's already done.
It's not like he loses.
Get rid of him.
Right, it's not like he loses his money.
There
It's
is
not
no
like he-
fixing that.
Yeah. Again, not like he loses his money. It's not like he loses anything. He'll have a good commissary.
Great.
He'll be able to buy his way out of-
Great.
But people like that, when people hear about that, when people go to jail, they're in trouble. Watch that show 60
Hopefully.
Days In. Oh, watch that show 60
Put him in
Days
general population, but that's another thing. We'll protect him and we'll keep him isolated.
If you guys have never watched the show 60 Days In, it's a great series.
It is a great
4
series.
seasons, I think they've done. He was in that jail for 2 days, I think.
Oh, he was
He said,
a
I'm
joke.
gonna blow the cover
No,
off this shit. I've got it all
was a
figured out
joke.
already.
He was. I almost thought he was just a plant because I'm like, there can't be somebody this stupid. That's a PI volunteering to go in and do this. This guy was there for some other reason, but it wasn't that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was a joke.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the cop was very disappointed.
And then they had a cop that couldn't speak an English sentence.
He could when he wanted to.
Oh, come
But he could when he wanted to. But most of the time he didn't. His regular language was complete Ebonics. It was that's it. That was his everyday go-to verbiage.
And then he goes and tells on everybody and says, swears to God he never did.
Yeah.
But how did the DO know the names of all the participants?
Oh, I know. But see, and that's what pissed me off so much because he wouldn't own up to it. He just would not own up to it. And it was so obvious what he did, but he just couldn't, he just had
he
an
didn't want to-
excuse.
right.
He aced his bullshit 101 class when he went into the academy.
But he was worried about his reputation as a cop. That if people heard this about him or how he acted or if he did that,
Yeah, nobody would trust him. Nobody would work with him.
Right. Because he read it out, everybody in the
Wow.
whole program. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Let's take a little break. We'll come back. We'll talk about moonshining and famous gentleman, famous moonshiner, Popcorn Sutton, and a few others. But we want to know your opinions on this too. Because listen, I have no problem with people want to make moonshine, make their own stuff.
Not at all.
I have no problem if people want to do anything on their own. But we'll talk
at all,
about
but
that.
we're
going
gonna
to
talk about that later.
You got it. All right, guys. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
So Popcorn.
Popcorn Sutton.
Popcorn
If you
Sutton.
guys aren't familiar with the name Popcorn Sutton died about 10 years ago. He was probably one of the most famous moonshiners of our age.
He committed suicide.
He committed suicide. We'll get to that. But he, Popcorn is on a show. Well, he's featured on a show a lot because the guys on the show are like students of his. Like
Right.
Popcorn mentored him through moonshining
And this show is keeping him alive.
Yeah, keep right in a sense, right? And the name of the show is called Moonshiners. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Discovery Channel. It's pretty neat. You get to see a little bit of the craft.
There's a reason why we're bringing it up, though.
But I'm bringing it up because moonshining is illegal.
Yes.
And again, there's a TV show on the Discovery Channel about gentlemen that are running all over the hills of
Yeah.
North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee.
And yet, like we said before the break, there's also people like Craig Cecil sitting in prison for the rest of his life
Right.
for a
Now, do
plant
I
that he
think-
never even came in contact with.
Do I believe these gentlemen should be thrown in jail? Absolutely not. I don't believe anybody should be thrown in jail. Not hurting nobody. If they're creating poison and if somebody dies from their shit, yeah, well then they get held accountable for that. But these guys have been doing it a long time. If you watch
So-
their craft, they know what they're doing. So why shouldn't they be able to make their own liquor? Why shouldn't you?
Why not?
If you buy the materials, why
Is
not?
it that it's a dangerous process?
Well, yeah, it's a dangerous process. First
Okay.
of all. Lots of flammable
Well, that's why they're up
materials,
doing it in the
obviously.
mountains.
Right. Well, lots of flammable materials, and then there's 3 stages to the run: the head, the body, and then the tail. And the head is all like acetone. It's almost like nail polish remover. It's
Okay.
like real. It's like almost 100% alcohol, and they call it hot. It's real hot.
Okay.
You put it in your mouth, you get the burn, and it doesn't have taste. And now in the body, that's when the run's running at its best. 5th gallon through your 8th gallon, 9th gallon is your body. That's the best of that batch. It's not the
okay.
poison in the beginning. And then they got the tail. Well, the
Okay.
tail is all the flavors still stay in there, and all the the flavors from it, but the alcohol levels come down.
Does it
But you
all
could-
get used?
Well, this is the thing. They throw out a good portion of their tail, but they save a portion of their tail to go into the next batch, to add the
flavors
and
back
everything
in.
else, right? That they've already mashed. And mashing is when they
Okay.
get their materials ready to stick into the fermentation process to make the alcohol.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool show. But the thing about this is it's an illegal act. You got television crews following you all around. You got 6 different people in a very, not too far away from spread out from each other, and they all get together and they all work within this, commune, community of sorts, and nobody gets arrested, except for Tickle.
No.
Tickle's
Well,
in jail every other day. I think Tickle
but he
is
seems
their
to get out. Well, the
scapegoat.
other guys are making enough money for him to get out, so
Tickle just ain't very
I
bright.
think that might be for TV purposes
Listen,
also.
Tickle's a good guy and probably one of the most knowledgeable guys in the woods because he's worked with Tim. And Tim has, got outlaw. Or
Right,
what's
but
it
the
called?
point
Outlaw bar.
is that it's illegal, and they're out there doing it, and then Popcorn gets 18
Yeah, well, Popcorn
months.
gets busted. Listen, Popcorn was so
That's the point.
brazen. This is how brazen this man was. He didn't think he'd ever get in trouble. He'd bring a still to a county fair, right in the middle of the fair, he'd fire up his still and make moonshine right in the middle of a county fair because he was that popular at home. Everybody loved him. Popcorn got cracked with 500 gallons of
500 gallons.
500 gallons.
Whoa.
Man, just think of all that. That's a lot of
18
trouble.
18 months,
by
though.
by ATF, by the Alcohol and Tobacco and Firearms Club, and he got 18
So,
months
how do you
in
explain
jail,
that?
man. Now, like, I'm
Different
glad
judges?
he didn't get. Listen,
It certainly isn't just different laws. I mean, I don't understand. How do you explain that happening?
Well, here's the deal. I didn't even want him to get 18 months. I
He
think
shouldn't have gotten anything. I get it. That's not the point.
I know, but the fact of the matter that makes it funny is it's 18 months for 500 gallons of liquor, you know, and you can't, man, you go to jail for life. Again, like we were just saying, without the possibility of parole, for weed you don't have nothing to do with.
I don't
And
get
this is
it.
the justice system we live in.
Another system set up for failure, as
Now,
we have
it's
so
part of
many.
American history, folks. Alcohol brewing and breweries. I mean, it's not just part of American history. This is part of world history. There's been wine and beers.
And that's why it
booze
was
and
so
alcohols
fitting
and
when
spirits.
George Monterano got that store with that Prohibition well. Right there in his hip hemp cafe. And there it is, all nice and redone for everybody to look
Got
at,
2-inch
nice and
plexiglass so you
showcased.
can
Yep,
walk on
yep.
it.
You can walk over it and take a nice look. You know,
Yeah,
it was so fitting.
Right.
So fitting for that to happen.
Right, just because of the
Yep,
business
here you
he's
just
in
stuck
now
him in
and
jail
such.
for 30 years. He gets out and boom, this is what he's got. How cool is that? That's karma at its best, right there.
But again, man, this is just part of history, and you know, and these people come up with these recipes, and you know, they work hard at it. They spend a lot of money doing this, and it's free enterprise. The way I look at it, screw it, you know. You can go to the liquor store and buy liquor. The damn government ain't got a problem with that, but
Nope.
you can't go to Joe, who really makes some good liquor,
Yep.
and just buy it, you know. Well, it's crazy. But listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we
And
do, we're going to
then
come
it's
back
time for
Pissed Off Pete. And Pissed Off Pissed Off Pete is going to be a good episode this week. We're going to really just show you how smart our real, true Department of Health here is in New York State.
Yeah, I'm
If
going
I
to
would be
sit back
pissed at
and
anybody,
watch
I might as
this
well.
segment myself.
I might as well be pissed off at them. But it's actually a bunch of people we're pissed off at. But
Yep.
we'll get that one.
Yes, you will.
Okay, guys, we'll be right back. Good evening, everyone. My favorite segment of the show, because I get to really yell without having to be worry about the sound guy's ears, because he knows it's coming, instead of it being a surprise sometimes. But welcome to Pissed Off Pete. And this week, Helen and I had an opportunity to go and listen to a couple lectures, and we were really intrigued by them because a lot of them were about holism and about drug addiction and things like that. And obviously that's where our heart is, so we, you know, let's go sit through these things, see what their issues, you know, what their input is, and if we can network a bit and see if we can help the cause a little bit. Because our area is really bad right now. I mean, all areas are. But if there's one person dying, it's a bad area for me. So, you know, we're going to fight until no one is. But we go to Goodwill Church in Montgomery, and it's, you know, represented by all these charitable church organizations. Let's say that again. It's represented by all these charitable church organizations. God-fearing, loving people, living the right way, which we all should live. Those that are the pinnacle of society that everyone should look to because they live the good path and walk a righteous path there in the course of their days. Correct? Isn't this what we do? Isn't it just people that we look to on Sunday as their parking lots are full? Well, these same people are the same people that say God is the entity in which we follow, and God is all-powerful and perfect. Well, God isn't perfect. I've come to find out. I've come to find out that my realization what God is, this perfect being, he isn't. Why? Because he made a mistake. You can't be perfect and make a mistake. And if God, who put every living thing on this earth and this planet for us to use, to reap and to sow, made a mistake of putting the cannabis plant on this earth, then he's not perfect. He can't be considered a God. And all of those that we look to and think that are the pinnacle of society are really just fooled. They're the biggest fooled. Otherwise, if they do believe, and they believe the scripture that's written, and live by it, yes, they can still be that pinnacle. They can be the one to look to. They can be the one whose life you'd like to emulate. Why? Because they believe the word of their God that is written that says, I gave you everything for a purpose. That's my pissed off part about the religious part of it. And I won't even get so mad about them. I won't raise my voice as much about them. Who I will raise my voice about is the Department of Health. The Department of Health. Scientifically proven the endocannabinoid system is the largest endogenous system in our bodies that controls every cell of our body. And the medical professionals that want to teach you that consuming cannabis in any form is harmful to you are lying, hypocritical pigs. They make statements within this pamphlet that are so contrary to the truth. They're allowed to do this and poison the minds of everybody that sits on the other end and reads this garbage. Some of the information to put in, you don't think that I'm talking and telling you that this is garbage, that this is garbage, folks. But at the same time, they're smart. And why can I say that? Because their wording is convoluted to what they're actually saying. They make a statement in here that cannabis, people think marijuana is natural. It can't be bad for them. It can't. Let me just clue you in on that. It can't. It's the most healthy plant on this planet. You cannot consume anything healthier. But listen to this. But marijuana has hundreds of chemicals in it that can affect your body in many ways. Now, that's a perfectly true statement. There are hundreds of properties of the cannabis plant that affect your body every time you ingest it in a positive way. So they're not making a false statement by saying that, but the introduction to that makes you believe that the information that they're giving you next, that is true information about the plant, that the plant has hundreds of compounds in it that are great for you, they forget to put that in there. They made claims that cannabis is addictive. Let me explain something to you. Everything's addictive. Your phone can be addictive, right? It's a behavior that's addictive. But if you stop ingesting cannabis, you don't have withdrawal symptoms. Now, when you come off of an opiate, you have withdrawal symptoms. You get sick, you get fevers, you have an illness to you, something other than the affliction that's bothering you. When you don't consume cannabis, do you feel worse? Absolutely. But you're feeling what's wrong with you. You're not feeling an effect of something from something else. You're feeling what your body is really going through. So there is no withdrawal from cannabis. Here's your withdrawal from cannabis, kids. Keep smoking blunts and run around saying you don't smoke tobacco or cigarettes and be proud of yourself. You're addicted to tobacco. You are addicted to the compounds in the tobacco wrap that you're using, not the cannabis. They're saying that cannabis will affect your mind and it will, make you lose your memory. It will stunt your brain growth. Gosh, guys, I learn every day. I've learned more now at 54 and have the capability of processing and retaining more now at 54 than I ever did when I was 17. I consume more cannabis now than I ever have and ever could have in my entire life. So the statements are false. Cannabis will make you sit down and eat. Just eat uncontrollably. Do they know anything? If you smoke an indica, you are going to eat a lot. Yeah. It will stimulate your appetite, but ingest a freaking sativa. You won't eat for a day. Know what you're talking about. Don't make false statements. Don't herd people into the most believed system in the world and give them crap for information. At least tell them the truth or have the opposite side of the fence. Don't push people like me out the door. You can continue to lie. You can. But I'll continue to be on TV and I'll continue to tell the people the truth. That's Pissed Off Pete for this week, people. We'll see you next week because you know somebody's going to piss me off.
Welcome back. I hope you liked that little skit of Pissed Off Pete, or segment of Pissed Off Pete. I know it takes him a minute to calm down.
Yeah, it's all right, though. But listen, we had a great show this week. I really want to thank Elise Rose
Yes.
for coming in and doing a piece. Elise has her
She
own
did
CBD
wonderfully.
business as well, too. So
Yes, she does.
But Elise,
Biker lady.
Elise does a lot of work. It was cool. It was funny as we were talking
You know,
today, I was
Elise
like,
amazes me. I'm telling you, and I say it to you a lot. She really does. She amazes me with the things that she does. I mean, she does a lot of stuff. She makes herself available. She's everywhere. She's.
You know what I like about Elise?
I love her.
Elise
I
does
think
a
she's
lot of
awesome.
stuff well. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
doesn't
she does
just
a lot of
half-ass
stuff well.
right?
Exactly,
Yeah, she does a
very
lot of
well
stuff
said.
well. Like she had a whole show done once and had an S somewhere where it wasn't supposed to be, and then I said, she said, "Don't you dare publish that."
Yeah,
She took it back
that's a
and
little secret too. Elise will end up finding out anyway because she'll be editing. But we do that too sometimes. If we find something and we'll be like, "Oh my God, well it's just so small, don't even tell her," because we know she'll drive herself
she'll
crazy
drive
with
herself
it, you know.
Yeah, and then we talked a bit about Eduardo and
Yeah.
Eduardo Pinto.
Yeah.
Please visit him if you need anybody with integrative medicine.
Yes,
I mean, he impressed
yes.
me, and he was a fantastic guy.
Somebody you want on your side if you're having medical issues. He's one to go to because he's going to treat holistically.
Absolutely.
He's not gonna-
Absolutely. And then Popcorn Sutton and Moonshiners, guys, please, man. Just let's fight for what's right. Let's stop wasting our time with things. And let's admit, just again, if
Stop
we're
wasting our
going
time
to
with
charge
bad laws and
people with
policies that
crimes,
just don't work.
Just make the punishment fit the crime from now on. Let's hope that this, what was his name again there? Johnny Bartow. Let's hope that he rots every day that he sits in prison.
Let's hope he's traded for cigarettes.
Yes, let's hope that a lot of
Every
things
day,
happen.
a couple times a day. Maybe with every meal. I'm good with that.
But hey, listen, there's people people always get what they deserve. You know what I mean? Like karma's going to get you.
That's for
no matter
sure.
what. And that's again why people say to me all the time, "Why are you wasting your time doing it?" Well, because listen, it ain't my karma. I put out the good.
That's right.
If they don't accept it right or do something with it, that's on them. It's not them to live on, not me. And keep tuned in each week. We'll keep you in tune about what's going on with this Port Jervis project. With the outreach hand up
and
program.
any suggestions, show ideas, suggestions, you can email any suggestions to CWT TV.
Got Larry-
CWT420 TV.
Yeah,
Sorry.
CWT
Whoa, at
42
Gmail.
small O TV
Yeah,
at
Elise will fix that, too.
gmail.com. We got Larry Sharp coming up April 1st.
April 1st, yep.
Larry will be on again. It's been a while since we've had Larry on.
Yeah.
Can't wait to interview him again. I'm glad that he's staying public and keeping his face in the media.
Yes.
Because the next time something where this man
Yes.
can run and make a change in
Yes,
this
because he needs to be
state,
in office,
yeah,
because
we
he's
really
true,
need to.
and he'll do it. He'll make the differences. He's
Unlike
not
me,
afraid.
he wants to be in office, so that's fine. He can be.
Yes.
And I'm good with that because if
Yes.
I'm going to support somebody, it'll be Larry. I'll definitely stand in his corner. So again, keep your eye. And maybe we can talk to him a bit about the Port Jervis project. See if
Maybe.
he can get involved in some way.
Yeah.
And I believe he will. So till next week, guys. Continue to live a canna lifestyle. we'll continue to try to educate you and entertain you, and we'll catch you next week.
And continue to live the changes you wish to see in the world.
Excellent, guys. We'll see you next week.